Hey, this is Brian and welcome to the Kelly's Brian Show, where I will help you to gain control of your fitness and life no matter how busy you are. In this video, I'm going to show you the 5 tips to help you to lose fats literally on autopilot. Most of us are busy people, we have jobs to do, we have tons of other commitments, and we sometimes simply don't have enough time to focus on keeping fit. And fitness is not always the number one priority in most of our lives. Nevertheless, it's an important aspect of our lives, and not having the time to train is not an excuse to neglect fitness. That is why I want to give you these 5 nutrition tips that you can implement into your lives immediately to help you to effortlessly lose fats without giving it much thought or effort. But before we start, let me just say that these 5 tips revolves around building small nutritional habits that will help us to stick to a caloric deficit, which is basically the most important concept when it comes to losing weight and fats. Well, and make sure to stick around for all 5 tips because you'll never know which one is most applicable to your life, and personally, tip number 5 is my favorite. So let's jump right in and cover the 5 tips that will help you to lose fats effortlessly. So tip number 1, use less sauce. Most of us are used to adding sauces to our meals to make them taste better, and usually we are not stingy about adding these sauces, so they can easily pack a few hundred more calories to our meals themselves. And even though those meals that we are consuming are somewhat clean, these sauces make it not so clean anymore. So a great way to help you greatly reduce the total number of calories that you're consuming in a day so that it helps you to stick to your caloric deficit more easily is to just use less of these sauces. It will help you to save hundreds of calories really easily. But if you're the kind of person who can't live without sauces, the very least you can do is to opt for lower calorie options. So that's tip number 1, use less sauce. For tip number 2, you want to drink a cup of water before each meal. The reason why you feel hungry at certain points of the day and want to eat is because your body is sending you hunger signals. And naturally, you will eat foods to satisfy these hunger cravings. But another way for you to satisfy these hunger cravings is by drinking water. So the simple act of drinking a glass of water before each meal can help you to satisfy your hunger cravings before you actually eat your foods. And this will naturally help you to eat less because your hunger cravings are already satisfied by you drinking the glass of water, and you tend to not overeat. So this is a great way for you to limit your calories so you don't go overboard and help you stick to a caloric deficit, which is what's going to help you to lose fats. One study actually found that just by drinking 2 cups of water before a meal lowered calorie intake by 13%, which is great if you want to stick to a calorie deficit and lose some extra fats. So drink 1 to 2 glasses of water before each meal. Alright, moving on to tip number 3, don't keep your junk food in sight. So snacking is a huge culprit of overeating and making us overconsume our calories, which will make it so much harder for us to maintain a caloric deficit. So in order to combat snacking, the best way in my opinion is to keep junk food out of sight. So take a look around your house or your workplace. Do you see junk food just lying all over the place, somewhere in sight? If that's the case, you might be falling victim to snacking really easily, because sight is a really easy trigger to activate cravings for these type of foods. You might notice that most of the time when you snack, you wasn't actually craving for the potato chip or the chocolate bar in the first place. It's because you saw them lying on your table, and then your brain reminds you, oh, there's something that you want to eat, there's something nice to eat. Therefore, you grabbed it and you ate the bag of potato chips, even though you didn't have prior cravings to it. So what you can do is to keep them out of sight. Keep all your junk food in your cupboard or somewhere that you can't see them easily. Or better yet, just don't buy it and store it in the house. If you ever crave for a bag of potato chips or a chocolate bar, go to your nearest supermarket to buy it. And chances are you'll be too lazy to buy it and you won't even snack after a while. And just by implementing this tip and reduce snacking, you greatly save on so much empty calories in a day, which will give you a higher chance of sticking to a caloric deficit. Tip number 4, opt for low-calorie caffeinated drinks. So caffeine is a great appetite suppressant and will help you to reduce food and hunger cravings, which will in turn help you to consume less calories in a day. So my favorite caffeinated drinks are black coffee and tea. But please note that you don't want to add too much sugar or creamers into your coffee or tea because that will just add up tons of unnecessary calories, and also drinks like Red Bull or other energy drinks which are high in caffeine but also super high in sugar. Anyways, this tip is especially helpful if you're doing a 16/8 intermittent fast, because having your appetite suppressed from these caffeinated drinks will help you with your fast that much more. And if you want the easiest way to start intermittent fasting, check out this video that I've created for you. So finally, we are tip number 5, which is also my favorite tip, which is to fill up your plate with vegetables. So veggies are super low in calories and also super high in fibrous carbohydrates. What that means is that you can consume a lot of vegetables and feel super full and satiated without even packing on much calories. So this is great for you to control the amount of calories that you eat in a day. So what you want to do for every meal is to fill up your plate with more vegetables and consume the vegetables first before the other parts of the meal. And what's that going to do for you is that you're going to get filled up by the vegetables first, which has very little calories, which means that you're less likely overconsume on the other parts of your meal, which will have more calories. So just doing that, you will naturally eat less calories in every meal, and your daily calorie intake will be less than what you usually consume, which makes it so much easier to stay in the caloric deficit. And that's my favorite tip. Anyways, I would love to know which is your personal favorite out of these 5 tips. Let me know in the comments below. So if you like these 5 tips and want to immediately apply them, here is your action plan. Step number 1, start with the one tip that you like the most and apply it into your life for 3 to 7 days, or as many days as you need for it to be comfortably integrated into your life. I'm a big believer on just focusing on one thing at a time, so applying all these 5 tips at once might just overwhelm you and backfire. So just pick your favorite one and focus on getting super comfortable with it. Step number 2, add a second tip on top of your first and apply it again for 3 to 7 days or as many days as you need to get comfortable with it. And you're just going to keep repeating this step until you successfully integrated all 5 tips into your life. So this whole process is a very gradual one, and I want you to go at a pace that you're comfortable at. So only proceed to the next tip only when you have mastered the previous one. And as time goes by, these 5 tips will be just seamlessly integrated within your life without you thinking much about it, and that's when you start to lose fats on autopilot. If you like this video and what you have learned today, I have something cool for you. If you're always busy at work and don't have the time or energy to commit to counting calories or cooking your own meals, but you still want to have a shot at losing some fats, I have a free 2-page action plan for you. In this action plan, I'll give you the exact steps to help you to start building the right habits right away for you to lose those extra pounds, even if you don't count your calories. All you have to do now is to click the link in the description box below and I'll send it right to your inbox. Also, by doing that, you'll be part of the email list where I'll continue to share free, valuable, and hopefully helpful content to you. Anyways, if you still have some time, share this video with your friends, family, or whoever you think this might benefit. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.